everybody, welcome back to episode 104 on this Tuesday night. Yeah.
Nope, it's
Thursday. Oh my god. For a second I was like, I hope it's not Tuesday. I'm glad it's Thursday and tomorrow's the weekend almost. We just have one more work day. But happy Thursday then. Hope your week's going well. We just thought we'd update a little bit on our post-first COVID vaccine. Except for just having like a little bit pain in our arms. That's pretty much all. I was a little achy, but I mean, I think that was just kind of like, I wasn't sure if that was because I was tired, stiff just from being 53, or that, but I'm happy that it was pretty uneventful so far. So, and our middle son, Mark, got his first one today. So we are getting our ducks in a row. So I'm super excited about that. So I was like, looking at the comments from our last episode when we talked about it, and I felt bad for one of the people that follows us that her husband had 4 cousins who passed away from COVID. So very, it's something that it still affects a lot of people, and unfortunately today I read a lot about what's going on in India, which is like very frightening about all the surges and hospitals being no room, running out of oxygen and things like that. So you kind of think like at some point we are getting closer to getting past this, but then when you see other countries who are struggling still, it's just like we're still in it.
Yep, no doubt.
So that's sad. And for some of our people who follow us who are in Michigan, they had snow that stuck to the ground. So sorry for you.
Yeah, and in Ohio too, and I don't know where else. Although downstate they did also, actually.
Yeah, and it's just, it's always one of those things where it's just like, is it okay to put your winter coat away yet? And the answer is always no. In fact, I was having a flashback when I was driving our son to his class that he's taking at Macy's. He's doing a visual merchandising class, and so he's going to Macy's one day a week on State Street. And as soon as we walked out, I was like, oh my God, it's so cold. And it kind of had a flashback of when our youngest, Claire, was in softball for several years. How many years did she do softball? Like 3 or 4?
At least 3.
And invariably, there would be games where we would just be frozen because it was just so cold in April. So I just had a flashback of that, just sitting there watching the games and couldn't wait to get home to warm up and have usually I did like a crock pot, like beef stew or something like that, so to warm us up.
But she did the soccer in the spring.
That's true.
Also, although she wasn't playing, but.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things, you just have to wait it out, and we're going to have warmer temps the next week, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah, well, warmer, but then it's going to be back into the 40s again.
I know.
So
I'm already thinking ahead when we get into our new house. It's still going to be not too late to plant vegetables, so I'm excited to get that going and see what... it's always like one of those things when you start planting. I always do... I think one year... I do remember actually. Do you remember the one year when I tried to start... I think it was either potato or tomatoes in a pot on our back porch before we were going to plant it outside.
I don't remember.
And I did not read the instructions. It was from seed, not from a plant. And I had a big container, filled it all the way up with dirt, and just waiting for anything to come out of there. Nothing happened, and then it turned out that you're supposed to plant the seeds this far underneath the soil. I've planted it way down here, so it was just never going to get to the top.
That's the hanging thing.
Yes.
The stand.
Tried the topsy-turvy.
Oh, right.
And that I was not successful at that either.
Some stuff grew though.
Yeah, some stuff did, but it was never enough to I had visions of I'm making salsa every weekend or making marinara sauce. This last year my garden was the best ever, so that was my 3rd year in a row. So I think by now I am getting a little bit better, but I do like planting from plants that are already started.
But normally you would start in early May, so that's not going to happen.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna do some research to see, because especially it could be nice until the beginning of October where you can still do crops. One of the I'm definitely gonna do again, which was a bonanza was kale plants. I had like a mixed kale plant, and you just kind of like trim the leaves at the very end, and it just keeps growing. So
Grows
that was
tall though.
yeah, and it was like, it was so hardy. Nobody ate it. I was gonna say no.
I thought we did.
We ate it, but I'm like no animals ate it
Oh,
outside.
yeah. Yeah, I guess
Which is always
the
like,
squirrels didn't like it, I guess.
Yeah.
They ate all the tomatoes.
They did.
Half of the tomatoes.
Yeah, we'd see him on the fence, and I was just like, "Oh, how was your breakfast that I provided for you?" So we'll have to see in the new house how the wildlife is, if anything's gonna like take our garden.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure they will. Because the squirrels especially like the tomatoes, but they would basically steal anything, except the kale, I guess.
Yeah, and poor Claire had a strawberry plant that she planted and didn't get any strawberries because as soon as they came out, it was just like we were all excited, oh, strawberries growing, and then go out there and it's like, oh, that's gone. So.
Yep.
But yeah, if you have any advice of anything to plant June for in Midwest, just let me know, and I'll keep that in mind. But then I always think like if you go to like Home Depot or Lowe's or something like that, they always sell. I figure they're selling stuff that's gonna grow. They're not gonna send stuff to like that's not gonna be successful.
But last year we didn't go. We did that local garden shop place.
Trying to think of the name of it.
I can't think of it.
The Green Earth or something like that.
You'll have to look it up. I don't remember the name of it, but and I don't really recall what the rationale was for going there instead of a big place. But I think it worked out better. Actually,
I do, because it was right a few months after COVID started, and we didn't want to have to go through the big box store.
Right, that's true. And actually, if I remember, I'm not sure that some of the larger places may not have actually allowed you to go in. I think you may have had to order online and just pick things up.
I think you're right.
And which is fine, except that, you don't always know what you want to get. But the place that we went to was mostly outdoors. It had a little indoor part where you would ring up whatever you were buying, but it was mostly outdoors.
It is the Good Earth Greenhouse in River Forest is where we went to.
That worked out all right.
It did, because we they limited the amount of people, and it was right in the beginning, so people were a little bit more vigilant.
They did limit the number of people, but we didn't have to really wait. I mean, we were pretty much able to get in and out.
Yeah.
If I remember.
It is, and I'm just gonna see because.
And it was, well, you know what? We actually went the week before Mother's Day.
That's true.
I think that's right. We went on a Saturday, but it was the week before Mother's Day. It probably would have been more crowded the following weekend. But in any event, it worked out well.
It did, and the favorite thing is that I got was, hold on, close that.
I think I know.
Yes. See if I can pull
Can you
that
blow
up.
that up?
I think so. Yeah. So these are they were called Midnight Snackers. And so see how it's like black on the top and then green on the bottom?
They're tomatoes.
They're tomatoes.
To clarify.
Yeah. And kind of like, I guess you could call it like almost a cherry tomato. Like they didn't get much bigger than that. But then the bottom turned red. Right. So you knew that it was there. But the exciting part was just like not knowing that this was coming out of the plant. And I was like, oh my God, this is so pretty. Like I can't even stand it. And always the other successful thing that we always do is peppers. Those always go like I can grow those like nobody's business.
Maybe squirrels don't like hot peppers. I don't know.
Maybe they don't.
We've done a number of. We did habaneros.
We did habanero, banana. We've done bell peppers, obviously. And 1 year I did cucumbers the first year and ended up pulling that up because...
they took over.
Yeah,
everything.
If you don't...
They're real aggressive.
Any kind of like vine thing, so maybe pumpkin, squash in that family. If you
got to plant them in a separate area.
Yeah, and so... You always listen to the instructions like plant 18 or 24 inches apart. You're like, why would I do that? They're like so tiny, but they grow so big. But the cucumber plant just was wrapping its tentacles around other plants. Yeah. And so I had to make the decision to can that one. And then the second year I tried tomatillos because I wanted to make green salsa, and It kind of worked, not as
But
much
they
as I
take
wanted to.
they take a really long time.
A really long time.
They really do.
I pulled it up, the whole thing up the second year, and then this last year, some grew up again, and I was like, "Are those tomatillos?" Because it had like the shell on there, but it basically grew just the paper, and then the inside was just like the size of like a pea.
They kind of look like those lantern
Yeah.
plants, and so sometimes it's hard to tell when they're small which it is.
Right. So I was like, "How did you come back? I picked you out," but I guess the roots were still there, and they like came back. So. It'll be interesting to see what it comes up. I think I pulled up everything, but you never know if you got everything.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and you never know what's going to grow back.
And I think I'm really excited about one thing that's in our backyard besides the pool, is we have a shed. So we've never had that before. So for gardening tools, gloves, and
lawnmower.
Yeah, and dirt.
I'm less enthusiastic about having a lawnmower.
Yeah, we'll see if we can find.
Use the landscaping service for the past.
We're gonna have to find
years.
one out there. I'm sure there's one out there. We do have landscapers that come to this house, and they came today. Actually, is they
right when I was about to start a
I know.
presentation.
I know. As soon as they pulled up, I was like, "Oh, bad timing." It takes them like 10 minutes. So, I mean, it's just worth it to not have to get out there.
They don't take long, but we never know for sure when they're coming, and they're impossible to communicate. I don't mean the workers, I mean the actual company. Like,
yeah.
If you call, you have to leave a message, you don't get anywhere.
And it's very old school.
It's a little, it is. It is.
So, yeah, we'll have to figure that part out. But I'm excited just to have a shed to put stuff in. I'll have to get more gardening tools or something. Rakes and stuff and such.
Well, we have some of that, and we'll have to remember not to leave it in the garage.
Yeah. And I finally, after 3 years of collecting in our garage of yard waste from my previous gardens, they've all been discarded. So, are you happy about that?
I thought there was still some in there.
I put the last 3 out there last night because I was like, may as well. I got the sticker for it, and they took it. So, just another.
Well, they must have taken it because I brought the garbage cans in and they were there, but I didn't know you put it out.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
They only collect yard waste from April to November, so
right.
Not that that's a huge window, and apparently I could not get in that window.
But we really didn't take stuff down until sometime in October.
That's true, because I was always like thinking like they're still coming, so I'm not going to take everything down. So, but yeah, there was just bags of yard waste, bags that you can't obviously throw on your regular garbage.
It's not really clear to me why they can't take it any other time of year though.
I know.
I don't really get that.
I know, because they just like make it into mulch anyway. So I'm assuming.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, it's just like one more thing.
We just follow the rules. We don't know why the rules are there.
Yeah, it's like green stickers for yard waste, pink stickers for extra trash and appliances, but some only need 1 pink sticker, some need 2, so it's a whole thing. We're learning about it as we're going.
Well, we've done it before, but then you forget.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm happy not to look at those in the garage anymore. So just one more thing off our list, and then I'll have to figure out in our new town how to manage all that stuff.
Yeah, I know it's going to be a whole different. Yeah, that's right.
I'm actually kind of excited about that part of just kind of exploring and just walking around. I don't know if we mentioned, but the end of our block is a nice park, so just to be able to walk around there and then see what paths, if there's any like bike paths.
See what our $250 a year.
Homeowners
assessment goes towards.
Yeah, we're not sure.
Seems kind of like a strange amount, a very small amount. So it's not going to much.
But. Right, whatever it is, it's minimal. Although I did see, not that we're gonna go, we've got a pool, but they have a giant pool and water park, not Six Flags, but
they do.
They do. It's like the park district has a big pool
and
thing. So I've just been researching our new town, basically.
So we'll spend money to get our pool up and running, but then there's some other better pool.
No, ours is better because you're close to your own bathroom. You're close to your own snacks, and it's no kids splashing.
Oh, you don't know about that. Depends on who's there, I guess.
In our local pool in our town here, when we would go, when our kids were little, every hour, I think it's every hour, they have all the children get out of the pool.
It's like
and
10 minutes to the hour
10
or
minutes
something
for
like that.
18 and up. So all the kids get out and then the grown-ups could go in. We always took advantage of that because it was just like so nice just to be able to just take a little break without having a ton of arms and legs and Marco Polo in your face.
Then there are always the people who want to swim laps in the middle of the day when it's really crowded.
Yeah, we never understood that. It's like
and then they're irritated that you're there in their way, but
yeah, because we're just like standing in the pool, we're just talking and stuff. We're not like swimming or anything like that. So that was always funny. So yeah, I think it's just I'm happy that we've got just one more day of work and then the weekend and everything's moving along fine with the house and everything. So then of course it's just like getting rid of stuff and packing. Just the hard part.
the hard part, right.
I packed my first box, which was cookbooks, because I thought I'm not going to need you, but
You're ahead of me.
yeah, just
Although
one out of many.
We've all thrown some stuff out, so I guess that's a plus. But
and the other thing I was thinking, and I'll have to look in this too, is because I have like jeans that are like not donatable, but I think they don't want you to throw out fabric. I don't know.
I didn't know about that.
I think that you can recycle like jeans or gym shoes or things like that that they can recycle. So I'm gonna have to do some research about that, because there's some pants that I've had in my closet, even with if I was going to work anyway, I'm never gonna wear you again, so I'm not bringing you. So
all right.
Getting rid of that. In fact, I saw some like it was a thing on YouTube, but it was how people are getting into like minimalism and things like that. I could never do that, because I can't.
Is that the tidy up lady who?
It is kind of like
told you to throw out all your stuff.
Right. Did it bring you joy, and then say it brought you joy, and then goodbye. But one was extreme, and this person only kept like 2 pairs of pants, 2 shirts, 1 pair of shoes. I mean, it was just like so extreme that it's just like, but why do you want to just have nothing, kind of thing, even though you think that you don't need it. Like 1 spoon, 1 fork, 1 plate. So I would never go that
So you lose the spoon or the fork. And then,
right, and then what do you do?
Then what do you
What
do?
if you lose 1 shoe? Then you can't have to walk around with
no
shoe.
Well, and they fall apart too.
Yeah,
so there's that.
I'm not doing that. Although I did watch the Tidying Up series, and
I don't think that's what it was called. That's just that's the only thing that came to mind.
I know. I can't remember the Marie Kondo or whatever, but one thing that she never like made people feel bad for everything they accumulated. So I always appreciated that.
Well, it
was
wasn't
like,
a criticism.
No, not at all. Instead of like some shows where you go, they could be a little harsh with the people in situations like that. But she always like made people feel comfortable about like, let's just think about this kind of thing. So.
I just don't understand why people treat, and I'm not saying she did it that, but people treat things like that like it's a form of therapy. I'm not really sure it's really therapy. Cleaning up your house and getting rid of some things. And if it is therapy, then what do you say when the person goes back to doing the same thing? Then it's not effective therapy.
Right.
But I just think sometimes people they take something simple, like cleaning or organizing, and they try to turn it into something that's sort of like more meaningful than it really is. And if you need therapy, you need therapy. You need to go talk to a professional person. Maybe in the end you'll end up with a cleaner house.
Right.
But
I also
need the
think,
real thing.
Yeah, and I also think it portrays like...
And again, it's not a criticism of that woman, because I never watched her thing, so I'm not singling out a person and saying this person is wrong. I don't mean that. It's just that, you see a lot of that on a lot of reality TV shows where you have somebody, I'm going to fix your restaurant, but it's really a therapy session. It's really, and it's like, well, you really aren't going to probably fix somebody's problems.
No.
You may get their restaurant running more efficiently, or their house might be cleaner, at least for a while, but that's not real therapy. If somebody needs therapy, they need,
definitely
go to an expert, go to a doctor, get real help.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
And I think it also
doesn't sell advertising time on television, but
no.
That's what you need.
And I also think it portrays like your life should be perfect all the time and like everything in its place and all the time. And that's, nobody can manage that, having working and kids and everything. It's gonna be in disarray at some point. And that's life. So
Right.
I'm not gonna worry about it. So yeah, that's what we're up to, and we're just gonna look at our basement probably this weekend to see what's
God.
down there, and we've got lots of boxes, so that is good. Thank you, Amazon. And actually, I have to look in this too, because if you have an Amazon box and you have things that you don't need anymore, you can put it in there, and then they'll come and pick up the box for free. And you can donate stuff that way, so that could be a possibility if we have stuff.
I think most of our stuff is not donatable.
Yeah.
It's trash. It needs
Pretty
to
much.
go in the garbage.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Not coming
But
with.
who knows?
Yeah, but I just thought to throw that tidbit out there. So we hope you have a good rest of the evening, and we will talk to you over the weekend. So have a good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.